Eneo hili si hivyo. Mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that the video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is fantastic. And maybe you could also let me know where you are watching the video from. The county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, ODM Party today held a rally in Kibra. I have reviewed the videos and have listened very keenly to the speeches. And I can only conclude one thing, that ODM without Raila Odinga is not ODM Party. The rally was not charged as usual.
Sana na Mungu awabariki. Mungu sasa wale tutawaongezea, mimi nitawapatia shilingi milioni 3 wale ambayo manyumba zao, milioni 3 wale ambayo manyumba zao zilibomolewa leo asubuhi. Nitawapatia 3 million on top ya ile ambayo ilikuwa imetolewa. Asanteni sana.
But one thing was very clear, that the rally actually flopped.
Aladwa ikiongozwa na Aladwa hapa Nairobi, inaongozwa na Aladwa. Sawa, ikiwa kuna mtu ambaye anataka kutenganisha hapa, Mheshimiwa Aladwa, panga kikao, tutawafurusha wenye wanaleta tabu hapa. Hapa Nairobi ni ODM chini Aladwa ya mwisho.
In this video, I want us to look at and try and understand why that rally flopped. Because let us face the reality. This event ought to have exploded, but it did not do that. I'm saying that because, number one, this rally here today is actually the first political rally Raila Odinga was attending as the new party leader after the death of Raila Odinga. So the organizers ought to have thought about that.
Na tuliporudi hapa Nairobi, niliamua mkutano yangu ya kwanza ya hadhara itakuwa hapa Kibra. Na hii mkutano maana yake na umuhimu yake
Number two, it's also the first political rally after Raila Odinga was buried. Again, the organizers ought to have thought about that, because that was going to define and actually shape ODM moving forward. And importantly, the organizers picked Kamkunji grounds. Kamkunji grounds was right at the heart of Raila Odinga. Kamkunji is in Kibra. Kibra used or is Raila Odinga's bedroom. So the organizers ought to have thought about all those three. But from all indications, they organized a rally. It was hurriedly organized and it failed. Why do you think the rally failed? In this video, let us talk about why that rally failed. And I want to go straight to my first point. One of the main reasons why this rally failed is because of Babu Owino and Sifuna, Edwin Sifuna's factor in ODM Party. Raila Odinga used to be superhuman, very popular, very likable, and of course Raila would automatically draw huge crowds. The moment Raila Odinga, I've attended several rallies in Kamkunji grounds. Sometimes those rallies, they start in low key. Then the moment Raila Odinga is about to arrive, I don't know how they normally get it, and Raila starts moving towards Kamkunji, everybody would always leave whatever they were doing to join Raila Odinga. That was actually lacking today. So apart from Raila Odinga, the other popular leaders in ODM Party today, you like it or you don't like it, Two, Babu Owino and Edwin Sifuna. But perceptionally, Edwin Sifuna and Babu Owino are being fought by the same group who organized this event. There's no way you can expect their supporters to turn up. For example, Babu Owino has always been the force behind most successful rallies in Nairobi, even during Raila Odinga's time. That's a known fact. Yeah, anajua kupanga kazi. Sifuna perceptionally is very strong. So if you lock out or the supporters perceive you guys to organize that rally to frustrate the most popular leaders in the party, what do you expect them to do? Boycott. So that's the first reason why this rally flopped. Number two is the broad-based government politics. If you study ODM very closely, two camps have clearly emerged. There's the camp which supports William Samoei Arap Ruto and his re-election. And that's where Raila Odinga was before he passed on. That's the group which organized today's rally. On the other side, we have those who are opposed to broad-based government. That's where Babu is, that's where Sifuna is. But they're very popular with the people, which means most people, and this is something which I think Raila Odinga failed to do. Even when Raila Odinga was still alive, the question as to whether he carried along his supporters to broad-based government was always there. Most ODM supporters felt that as much as Raila Odinga went to work with Ruto, he did so without persuading the supporters. That he entered into the deal, then tried to bring back the supporters to the fold, which again, by the time he was dying, he had not really achieved it. So because of this broad-based politics, ODM supporters are divided. And of course, if they used to be 100 people attending a rally in Kamkunji, and now they are divided into two, let's say 40, 50, the numbers will be obviously down. Number three, and this is very important, this rally flopped because of Raila Odinga succession politics, post-Raila Odinga politics. When Raila Odinga died, Oburu Odinga was appointed very fast as the acting party leader. After that, he was confirmed again very fast. But there were people who believed that Oburu Odinga was William Ruto's project, that Oburu Odinga ought not to have been appointed as the party leader. And they also believed that Oburu Odinga ought not to take the direction of broad-based government and try to force it on the throat of the people immediately. And because of that, we didn't see Winnie Odinga, we didn't see Sifuna and the group. The truth is, if ODM wanted to hold a successful rally in Kamkunji, it would have been very simple for them. Two things on your, let me explain three. The first thing they would have done was to bring together all the factions within the party. Sifuna group, Babu group, Winnie group, Junet group, Orengos, you bring them together. Then say, let us meet in Kamkunji. The supporters would want to go and see. Curiosity, they would want to go and see or listen to the message. So that's the first thing they ought to have done. They didn't do that. They ought to have rallied. Then after rallying the supporters, the second thing, which is also the most important, would have been to come up with agenda. If I were to ask you, what was the agenda of today's meeting? Because Raila Odinga used to go to Kamkunji grounds whenever he had serious issue or something serious to discuss or to tell supporters. Whenever Raila Odinga was cornered, he would always go to Kamkunji, come up with solution. And they were very specific. If you study Raila Odinga and watch his speeches in Kamkunji, resolutions were always made. Yeah. So, they ought to have come up with an agenda, which actually lacked here. And number 3, which I think, and number 4, which I think is very important also, is mobilization. Before I dive deep into that, allow me to introduce you guys to Kile Kitabu. Kile Kitabu is one of the best digital management softwares we currently have in the Republic of Kenya and of course in the world. I want to ask you to go to Play Store, search for Kile Kitabu, download it on your phone, and try using it, and then bring feedback tomorrow in the comment section of tomorrow's video. Ladies and gentlemen, who mobilized the crowd? Because for Raila Odinga, he didn't need to mobilize. But politics is a perceptual game. So if these guys wanted to send a message, because already they've declared war, they ought to have mobilized. The mobilization was actually one thing. And lastly, the timing. Raila Odinga was buried. We are in January. Camps are still emerging. People are fighting. Then you call for a meeting. An urgent one. To discuss one of the most emotive issues in the party. Working with UDA. So what these guys ought to have done, they would have gone through all this using the back door. Yeah. Just negotiating, striking deals. Then by the time they were calling this meeting, they should have been sure of what or the direction the party is going to take. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Makwiny. Bye-bye.